is burning. The clouds red with twisted fire. Lightning moving across them. And they descended upon everything. Like a furious battle between God and Satan, good and evil. Like a fire vortex.
Good evening, Rocket League fans. Welcome aboard. Happy Labor Day to everybody. I am Rydog of Timber's Army, and we are here with Luis from El Matador. Luis, happy Labor Day to you, and how's your night going so far?
Yeah, happy Labor Day, Ride Dog. Night's going great. Welcome everybody to the stream. We have an amazing matchup tonight. We have Emerald City Defiance versus Black Army. Really looking forward to spending my Labor Day night with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're kicking off week 2 of SGL Season 8. We had a full slate of games last week. Maz in the production, if you want to bring up the week 1 fixtures, if you have a second, we can kind of run through what happened last week, and then kind of go over the table, and then of course looking forward to this coming week, and then of course to the match at hand. So just kind of running down the list just from my memory at the moment, and then when we get that graphic up, we can roll with it. But week 1, we started with 2 EC teams, 2 Seattle teams. We had EC and Rebellion, and then of course we had this EC Defiance team, which we'll see a little bit later, take on Los Verdes. And if you remember correctly, Luis, you and I were on those calls, and EC Defiance unfortunately got swept by Los Verdes, but their counterparts in ECRC took the win over the Rebellion.
Yeah, obviously, for everybody in the Discord, everybody in the league, if you want to access the league table, any of the stats that we have from week 1, they are in the Discord under, where is it? It is stats and rankings, I believe. So if anybody's in the Discord wants to keep track of what we're talking about here, you're more than welcome to go there. To piggyback off of what you said, Rydog, Los Verdes for me, they are top of the league after week 1. The biggest surprise so far, I thought they played tremendous in their week 1 game. They're just not really used to being in that spot. Obviously finished last season. So they got their campaign started on the right foot. And big ups to Los Verdes on the way they started season 8.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we'll just kind of keep rolling down the list here. Of course, we had KC take on EC Blue to round out the Seattle teams there. And Cauldron, of course, I think they lost 2 games last year in the entire SGL Season 7 season, from regular season, playoffs, and cup play. And they looked dominant over EC Blue.
They did. The champions picked up where they left off, even with what some might call not their best lineup. And for their not best lineup, it's going to be a lot of teams' best lineup. So they looked right back on form. Good to see Captain Yef and Thorngold, 2 OGs of this league, really putting in a lot of work. And they are going to be one of the harder outs again this season. And for a lot of people, going to be right there, if not the favorites to win the whole thing again.
Yeah, absolutely. In our final 2 matches that we had, last week we had locals taking on Steel Army, which, if you remember, Luis, it was just a back and forth affair between Meki Ducky and Bear Blitz. I think both of them had 90+% goal participation / goals in general. So that was crazy in itself. And then of course we rounded out us here with Timber's Army taking on Black Army, and what a series that was. It was back and forth. Of course, I'm a slightly biased. I played in that match, but it was an incredible match. If you have time and want to go watch a crazy series, go check that out. The VOD is probably still up on my Twitch channel, which is where that match was streamed. But Luis, any comment on the locals and or Black Army's wins last week?
Yeah, to piggyback off of the match that you featured in, it was unfortunately the only match that we didn't have here live on SGL, given it was, I think, 1 a.m. Eastern time for us over here on the Eastern time zone, so we couldn't really get that streamed for you guys. I really recommend, if you have the chance, to go back and watch those VODs. Rydog streamed, Saikugo streamed, and Isador streamed, so two streams from the LAFC perspective, one stream from the Portland Timbers perspective, and Rydog. Really recommend going to their channels and watching that series. It was the only series that went to Game 5, and a nail-biter in Game 5 win for Black Army. I think you guys played pretty good as well. I don't think it was one of those things where, one team played bad or another. It was just two great teams going at it. And for me, the game of the week, and again, it's unfortunate we couldn't get that on the mainstream for you guys, but again, if you have time, go watch those streams. Rydog had a really nice goal, if I must say so myself, a nice double tap, which probably for me goes down as the goal of the week. And the LAFC team, who I think are the underdogs, the sleeper team to win the league this year. I think this Black Army team that we're going to see tonight is really in contention to win this whole league. They have a great overall skill set, a great mental, and that team is an absolute vibe to watch in their comms. So, yeah, great series. Rydog, unfortunately, you were just a little bit short, but as a viewer, it was really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually ended up watching my VOD afterwards, and I was pleased with how we played as Timber's Army. But yeah, of course, Black Army just that really that good. And I agree, definitely a sleeper coming back into the league this season. And of course, the final team that we haven't mentioned, El Matador, they had themselves a bye week. Since we've got 11 teams, one team does get a bye every single week, and of course, it happened to be Luis's team, funny enough. So we will get to the next week's matches here in a little bit, but we do want to take a look at the top performing players from week 1. If we do have that graphic, there we go. As you can see, we do have total points and total goals and total stats there down at the bottom, and then of course you do the divisions by game. It is that kind of that top portion. Luis, kind of reviewing this list, is there a player, or is there like maybe a group of players that stands out in a particular category?
Yeah, obviously Thorn Goal is going to jump off the screen. That 744 points per match is tremendous. He was, I think, averaging 3 goals a game in that series. It says there, actually. Yeah, he was great. He was fantastic. I also want to pick up on a player that might not be... that might not stick out to you when you first look at these stats. Vex, who is 4th in total points for this Black Army team tonight. I think he is a player to watch out for. He is going to be one of the most mechanical players we have in the league. And I was really impressed with his series against Timber's Army. So yeah, Thorn Gold, tremendous performance, the odds-on favorite at the moment for MVP. And then Vex is kind of a surprise player, one to watch out for, who I really like his game. And I think as he gets more comfortable in these games, we'll start to see his mechs truly shine for this Black Army team.
Yeah, those are great shouts, and I also think, and we pointed them out a little bit earlier, Meki Ducky and Bear Blitz, there in that top left portion of points per game. Meki Ducky, of course, with 567, was essentially carrying the offense there for locals in their match last week. And then, of course, Bear Blitz just 2 places below him with 447.75 points per game. really carrying the offense there for Steel Army last week. But yes, those will we're looking to bring that graphic up every single week, and I think it'll be cool to see how each player changes, who jumps on the leaderboard after a certain week, who falls off after a certain week. So definitely a good starting point here. Before we kind of get into this match, I want to briefly chat about the week 2 slate that we have for you this week. Here it is up on screen. Of course, we've got the middle match for you tonight, ECD versus Black Army. We'll talk about them here in a second. But yeah, we've got Timbers, Armies, and Locals. That match is scheduled for Thursday night, so stay tuned in the SGL Discord for that. We've got ECRC playing Steel Army, a little east-west action there. KC Cauldron plays the Rebellion, and then El Matador played their first match against Los Verdes, a little Texas on Texas action there. Any matches stick out to you, Luis, apart from the one tonight?
I think this KC Cauldron Rebellion matchup is going to be very interesting. I think also the Timbers Army Locals one, but I'll stick with the KC Rebellion one. I think the Rebellion, coming off of a loss in their opening weekend to a very, very strong team in ECRC, are going to be looking to bounce back. And then KC Cauldron, our defending champions, again, really looking forward to see how they bounce back as well, continue their form rather. Yeah, so I think I'll go with that matchup. Honestly, one of the good things about this season, Rydog, and you can speak on this as well, is that most of our games every week are going to be very competitive. And so that's one of the things this season that I'm really looking forward to, and makes every time you tune into this channel and or the channels that stream our games very fun, because you never know who truly is going to win a game. So yeah, looking forward to those matchups. What about you, Rydog? What are you looking forward to?
I think I'm looking forward to, and this is maybe a lame answer, but every team that went 0-1. I think, or maybe even you can add EM into that mix since they haven't played yet. Of just bouncing back. Can you tweak the things that you worked on? Hopefully in the course of this kind of week off since your last match. Can you find those tweaks to your gameplay to bounce back? So of course those teams are going to be Timbers Army and myself, Steel Army, ECD, who we'll talk about here in a minute. Rebellion, and then we'll say El Matador, even though they haven't played yet. So hopefully you, Luis, start out strong. But there's our week 2 slate for you guys. Like I said, stay tuned in the SGL Discord for all the updates for when those matches are going to be played. But let's talk about the teams that we have on hand tonight. We've got Emerald City Defiance taking on Black Army. Two different tales, I might say. ECD, unfortunately, coming off a getting swept performance from Los Verdes there currently at the top of the table. And then you had a Black Army team who is, we'll say, challenged by Timbers Army, and fortunately for them, took it in 5.
Yeah, this series on paper, given what we saw in week 1, seems like it's going to be a very comfortable series for Black Army. And what it seems, can sometimes be elusive in what we actually see on the pitch. But I think in this case, Rydog, I really do think Black Army are the heavy favorites here. Given what we saw in week 1, I only expect them to get better. And so my money on my Twitch chat points, 26,000 of them are on Black Army. So maybe I'm throwing a commentator's curse, but I think I'm going to go with Black Army in this one. I'm going to go 3-0 sweep. What are you thinking, Rydog? What are you thinking for this series?
I think Rocket League wise, yes, I think I have to agree. I think Black Army just looked really, really strong last week. No matter what lineup they put out, they were experimenting with some lineups. I think they played with 3 or 4 different iterations of themselves over the course of the series with Timbers Army, but they all looked very, very strong. And apart from really one game from each side in that series, the games were super, super close. And so just shows you the level of SGL, and of course shows you the level of Black Army. And so, yes, I do agree. I think Black Army will handle EC Defiance fairly handily tonight. However, I do want to point out Emerald City Defiance, I actually got to meet them this weekend at the Timbers Sounders MLS match And they're all lovely, lovely people. So shout out to Bird Nana, Green Mario, Parks, all those guys. I got to see Smashley again as well. So shout out you guys, and I love you guys. But I do think Black Army are going to take this one.
And do we have both teams in the lobby? Can you see this, Rydog? Are we just about ready to go here? Are we missing a team?
We're missing a team. I think we're still waiting for Black Army, so we'll get these guys in the lobby here in a second. But yeah, once again, like I said last week, EC Defiant want this, right? Like this will definitely be a challenge facing a top team in the league. But they've been practicing. I've seen it all weekend. And of course over the course of the latter part of last week as well, they've been practicing. Like I said, they're lovely people too, and that I don't know if that counts for anything in Rocket League, but it counts for something in my heart. Okay, guys, thanks, chat. But they want this, and so we'll see them progress over the course of the season. And of course, we're just still in week 2 in the beginning stages of things for them.
Yeah, and listen, I'll speak a little bit as we still wait, I believe, on Black Army. I'll speak a little bit on what you mentioned. You met your fellow soccer supporters at a match this weekend. This is something that we are all about here at SGL, is soccer supporters from MLS teams to USL teams and below, to Canadian teams, hopefully in the future. This is what it's all about. And so seeing you guys meet up in person, the camaraderie, the connections, all that stuff that you build is what truly makes this league special, as opposed to any other league that you can join, in which soccer supporters are not a main focus. But that's what we really do here. So it was really fun to see that, see all those pictures. Always brings a joy to my heart to see the connections between even the fiercest of rivals, with the Portland Timbers and the Seattle Sounders, finding a little bit of camaraderie, a shared connection with SGL.
Yeah, and I've fortunately been able to meet quite a bit of SGL folks. Of course, I've met some of the Sounders boys. I've met Kuv from El Matador. Shout out him in chat. I see you there, brother. It wasn't at an MLS game. It was at the U.S. Copa America game in Dallas. But we have LAFC here in the lobby, Black Army here, and so we are just about ready to go once we get. Oh, EC. Oh, we're
gonna reset the lobby here, I assume.
I think we're gonna reset the lobby. Yep, let's just give it a quick reset. All good, all good. But we've kind of set our predictions. I guess maybe let's talk about a little bit more grand scale as we're kind of getting the lobby reset here. We've talked about Black Army being a sleeper for the season. We've talked about EC Defiance. They were kind of towards the bottom of last season, but have picked up Parks as well, who's awesome. Also, like I keep saying, a fantastic person and a really good Rocket League player. I've also played with him as well. But looking more grand scale, what do you think the floor and ceiling is for these teams, Luis?
Yeah, so I actually think that if Black Army compete at their highest level, this team is a contender to win the league. Their upside is tremendous, given the talent across the roster. I mean, apparently, well, as you saw, they were running multiple lineups with multiple great players. So if they can figure out ways to plug in those pieces correctly, this team is going to be right there at the top. And then for ECD, I think week 1 was a bit of a shock, losing the way that they did. So hopefully this is a wake-up call, and I do think that they can perform better. This team finished above 500 last season. Obviously, they did lose a great player in Gojo, but I still expect them to bounce back and be a competitive team in this league. Yeah,
absolutely. We're super excited. I know I speak for all of us on the kind of admin side of SGL that we're excited to see how they progress, and of course all the teams progress over the course of the season. I think sometimes last season you saw just a bunch of different teams in a bunch of different ways and a bunch of different iterations and styles and all this sort of stuff. So but while I say that, we are getting into game 1, Black Army EC Defiance. Here we go.
And here we go. Week 2, game 1 kicks off. LAFC versus the Seattle Sounders. And Parks almost gets it straight away with an opening goal for ECD. Good defense out of LAFC. And here we go.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how EC Defiance respond after last week's sweep. They were kind of more on the back foot against Los Verdes. They had a few chances and a few good goals at the end of the day, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. But I think they do better when they high press and kind of don't allow other teams space, and they can kind of just be in those awkward spots, kind of like their compatriots over at EC Blue and ECRC as well. So that's kind of my key to the game, at least for EC Defiance. It's just to get good solid hits on the ball and to kind of make LAFC work for it.
Yeah, obviously we know about the mechanical prowess of this LAFC team. So if you're EC Defiance, you're going to want to play a little bit more defensive, more demo focus, bump focus, taking boosts, stuff like that, to kind of nullify the mechanical ability of this LAFC team. So I'm really curious to see how they play this series. And as we say that, Parks opens the scoring. I believe we saw a whiff out of an LAFC player on the back line there, and it's 1-0 to the boys from Seattle.
And it comes off of a demo play, just as you were mentioning, Luis. I'm not sure who ended up getting the demo, but Parks is going to be ending up getting the goal and getting EC Defiance on the board first. Maybe not what we were expecting early in this one.
Yeah, and if you're Emerald City Defiance, I mean, this is what you want to see. An early goal, you build the momentum, the nerves start to kind of dissipate, and also the nerves start to build for an LAFC team in which most people expect them to win. So great start from Emerald City Defiance, and yeah, that is about as good as they could have hoped for.
And there's going to be a good chance from Vex. It's going to be saved out in the end by EC Defiance. But yeah, it's a few uncharacteristic whiffs here from Black Army to start out this game 1. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of nerves. I'm not sure what's going on there, but you definitely didn't see not a lot of those last week, because Parks is going to pick up another save to go along with his goal. But here comes Black Army once again, maybe trying to settle in a little bit. And they're really well known for their solo plays, Luis. We saw it, of course, last week against Timbers Army. Lots and lots of solo plays. But right now, this first goal is going to come off an assist from Saikugo. Vex is going to open the scoring for Black Army.
Saikugo with what we call a calculated fake, which ends up being a perfect pass for Vex in the right place at the right time, rocking the optic car. Vex, again, is a player I highlighted in the pregame. I think he is going to be a player to watch out for this season. And he ties the game up for Black Army.
I think it's a very similar comparison, as he's going to go up and get a beautiful double tap. Here we go. Vex is warming up. He just needed like 1.5 minutes to get there.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about here. This is the mechanical prowess from a player like Vex. And honestly, there's not many players in this league that can match that sort of mechanical play. You have the likes of like me, Gojo, and I think Vex is going to be a name that it sticks out to everybody with his mechanical play. As we see another attempt at a flip reset, we're seeing some freestyle plays here out of the Black Army guys. And man, they're really fun to watch when they get going.
And that's perfect, because that's exactly the point that I wanted to make, is Nose is going to get a shot. Going to be off target in the end. But that's exactly the point I was going to make, Luis, is that you have another super mechanical player like a Gojo, like yourself, Luis, when you play, can just turn a game, just whatever, on its head, right? You could be down 2-0 with 1 minute left, and boom, it's somehow 3-2, 3 solo plays in the back of the net. And that's the kind of player that Vex is. And frankly, that's kind of the player that, at least from my biased opinion from playing them last week, that's all these LAFC players. They can go out and they can make something happen on a whim. Yeah,
Saikugo might being the probably the the only difference in terms of gameplay out of the LAFC guys. He's more of a traditional, no nonsense, not the best mechanical player, but always in the right place at the right time, and he brings that some of those leadership qualities in the comms. So yeah, so far great start out of Black Army. Let's see if Emerald City Defiance, with 1 minute left, can at least put some pressure on the LAFC net.
Oh, but unfortunately, it's going to be Black Army getting on the board once again. It's going to be Saikugo this time, getting a pass from Y2. And it's just going to be a whiff at the end of the day from the ECD boys. And it's going to add an insurance goal for the Black Army. But really, with 1 minute left, of course, we still got plenty of gameplay left as Parks. Can he get the open net? No, it's going to be saved out by Vex. But I really thought this was going to be maybe a little high-scoring game. I don't know if you thought the same thing.
Yeah, on the goal in particular, I don't know if it's my bad Florida internet, but man, there seemed to be a very, very bad ghost touch, unfortunately, out of the ECD half that would have most certainly resulted in that goal not going in. But yeah, I thought there would be more goals in this series and this game, and but I think that's a credit to Emerald City Defiance. You know, they know they're coming up against a very high-powered offense, and they're playing some pretty stellar defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that completely. It's going to be a pair of hat trick of saves from Parks and Birdnana coming out from this LAFC team. Their shooting hasn't been the best. It's 14 shots, as Birdnana is going to get us within one with 9 seconds left with a beautiful pass from Parks.
Yeah, I don't know what this touch was here from Eric. A kind of a misplay, and yeah, Birdnana is just in the right spot at the right time, and we're one kickoff goal away from this going to overtime.
And I will say, EC Defiance have played so well in this game one. Hopefully these last 5 seconds can go well for them, but looks like this ball is just going to be hanging out in their half, and Black Army is going to take game one. But holistically, I think they've improved so much from last week. I think if you take even this game one performance and stick it in maybe one of those other games against Los Verdes, they have a shot of taking that game. If not, they're actually taking that game.
Yeah, no discredit to Los Verdes, but this Black Army team across the board is just a step above. And so for them to only lose game one by 1 goal speaks to that difference in play, difference in quality. So, yeah, I think this is a great performance from Emerald City Defiance. And from Black Army, we saw the mechanical plays out of them that were tremendous and make them one of the more fun teams to watch in this league. And so, great game one. We do have a substitution here for game two. Looks like Eric is going to be leaving for LAFC, and Martez, or however you pronounce it, is coming in. This is one of the things that you saw in your series, Rydog, is this Black Army team was constantly rotating players. And so, it was hard for, I guess, you guys to kind of tell what kind of lineups they were throwing at you guys. But also on the flip side, it's also hard to have cohesion when you're constantly changing teams. So let's go ahead and see how Martez or Martez slides into this Black Army team.
Yeah, it's a great point. It's that balance, right, of getting the chemistry with your same teammates, week in and week out. And of course, the way the SGL table works, as you guys probably saw before kickoff, was you get an extra point for each game that you win. So essentially, if you win a series, you get 3 points, and you get an extra point for that series win. But in a case like a Timbers Army last week against Black Army, they're technically sitting at the best 0-1 position because of those 2 points, because they went to 5. And so all of those things matter, right? So if you're constantly switching lineups, and maybe one lineup's maybe a little bit weaker than another lineup, those points can come down to towards the end of the season of the difference in seeding, the difference in playoff position. Of course, top 6 are going to advance to the next to the playoff stage, and so you could be off by 1 or 2 points, and maybe do you kick yourself for, hey, maybe we should have stuck with our lineup here, we should have stuck with our lineup there. I know from personal experience, as we get ready to go into game 2 of last season, was so tight that Timbers Army, I think they were 2 or 3 points away from being top 4, and there were certain lineups and certain decisions and all that sort of stuff that factored into those things, right, for them getting the 7 seed at the end of the day, as Vex is just going to start right where he leaves off from game 1. But So we'll see how Black Army respond. Of course, it starts well with Vex doing his thing, but yeah, we'll see how the lineup changes with Diet Coke coming in and Martez coming in.
Yeah, so actually 2 subs here. Diet Coke is Isidore for LAFC. He just has a very funny Epic Games name. And Martez. So again, great start for them. Vex picking up where he left off in Game 1. And so if you're Emerald City Defiance, you want to put a better foot forward here, as we do see Martez with the 2nd goal here for Black Army. This is kind of the type of start and or gameplay that I expected in this series. And if you're ECD, it is a worrying sign to see Black Army start to heat up here.
Exactly, and that's kind of the other point I was gonna make, right? Of course, you somehow leave points, you know, off the table, but I feel like at least for this Black Army team specifically, is you maybe don't have, you know, that much of a difference between, you know, these 5 or 6 players that are on their roster, right? And so you can afford to put out all of your best players, as this net's going to be open and Vex going to get the double tap. No, it's going to go wide in the end. But so for Black Army's perspective, I think it's okay. I think they've got a really strong lineup. Of course, I'm definitely biased. I played against a lot of their lineup choices last week, and they were all really strong. There wasn't a person, you know, that I was like, hey, we need to target this person. They're a little bit weaker than the rest. You know, there was none of that. And so it's going to be a struggle for EC Defiance to continue here, as this ball is just kind of hanging out in the blue end, and they really haven't had any good attacks to start game 2.
Yeah, very good 50s on the goal line there to prevent the 3rd goal. Emerald City Defiance is going to need to find some boosts here. They need to find some boosts, try to get out, try to cause some commotion on the pitch. It's just a little too easy at the moment for the guys from LAFC to do whatever they want. It's very comfortable. So, you know, maybe some bumps, some demos, just get active on the pitch. And I think we do see a side flip, unfortunately, out of Emerald City Defiance. Always hate to see that. We've all played Rocket League. We've all been there. Side flips, back flips, and yeah, Nose is going to want that one back for sure.
I'm not sure if Nose came off the lip there, because like you said, Luis, we all hate that stupid lip of the goal there, that post, and just eats your flip. But I'm not sure if that's what happened with Nose in this case, but nonetheless, yeah, Nose is going to want to have that one back for sure. But hoping for EC Defiance here, they can kind of get their footing here in game 2 and get some goals on the board, as Parks is going to get a good save off the goal line after a bump attempt coming out for Black Army. So, of course, with it sounds like, at least it looks like so far, this 3-0 scoreline for Black Army, they're not done yet. They want more.
Yeah, this Black Army team, and it really, you mentioned the rotations, and we've talked a little bit about the substitutions, but yeah, every player that comes in for them is putting in a shift. There's not a weak link on the team, and it makes them really hard to play against. They have endless options, endless strategies or types of play styles they can go for with their combination of players. Yeah, I think Martez, I'm going to say Martez like in Spanish, and Isidore have come in and done a tremendous job so far.
It makes me wonder too. Of course, we're not done with game 2 here yet, but you know, what does that mean for the rest of the series? Like, what combos are they trying? Is there a method to their madness, or is it very much a, hey, let's just throw some, you know, let's spin the wheel and see which trio we get? But you know what? No matter what trio they put out there, it's working. It's going to be 4. It's going to be another one from Martez in the end. That's going to complete his hat trick.
Yeah, Martez off the bench with a hat trick. This is the depth that we're talking about here. And if you have players coming off your starting lineup that are scoring hat tricks, I mean, you're in a really good spot. He's been tremendous, rocking the Mexico flag. Shout out that. And as we see, Vex unchallenged in the air, double tap. 5-0, and this is the power of Vex. He's one of these players in the league with open space in the air, no hands up. He's going to do that to you all day. So already a couple of very nice goals out of Vex in this series that I hope to see in the Clips channel here after the game. But yeah, tremendous from him. Got to put those hands up for players of his quality.
And that is kind of the secret, right? And of course, Luis, you probably don't like hearing this as being a mechanical player yourself, but with those mechanical players, you have to put a hand up. You have to try and make them make a decision to do with the ball, right? If you know somebody's going for a double tap, can you float up there and you know try and block it? Can you go up and try and challenge and make them maybe use their flip a little bit early, or make them you know do something that they didn't intend to do originally, as Martis is going to grab his 4th and the 6th for Black Army. And so yeah, for EC Defiance, I think that is kind of a big downfall here in this kind of runaway game too, of they're just not you know putting a hand up and trying to defend those plays, but partially due to kind of LAFC themselves as well, kind of flipping the script of they're just taking all the boosts, and you can't put a hand up if you don't have boosts.
Yeah, if you look at the boost totals at the end of a lot of these plays, they're on the very low side for Emerald City Defiance, and it's really and oh my God, Mark, we can't even speak. There's goals just flying in here, right? Martes, this is 5th goal. What is this? I think it's his 5th goal.
Yeah, 5th goal.
Wow, he's on fire. His shooting is tremendous. It's like always in a nice hard spot where it's hard for the goalkeeper to reach. What a introduction into this series for Martes.
Yeah, Black Army is rolling right now, and you unfortunately have to feel for EC Defiance. They really just have been stuck in this blue half, you know, all day, and that is one of the best things and one of the worst things about Rocket League, depending on if you're winning or losing, is that after every single goal there is a a kickoff, rather like a 50, right, in a kickoff. Of course in real life soccer, you know, the team that just got scored on is going to get the kickoff. They're going to get possession, and it's kind of a way of even things out in the end. But Rocket League, that's not necessarily the case. You know, Black Army could score 7 goals like they have now, and they could absolutely win every single kickoff like they pretty much have been as well, as we're going to see a demo and a bump attempt that's going to get Martes on the save sheet. But yeah, so Rocket League giveth, Rocket League taketh.
Yeah, and I actually like that offensive play out of Emerald City Defiance. You had a lead blocker there going for a bump on the goalkeeper. Those are the kind of plays that we're going to need to see in Game 3 if they want any shot of getting back into the series and taking a game. So credit to Black Army. This is what I expected going into the series. That's the performance that we didn't see in Game 1 from Black Army that we did see in Game 2. Tremendous across the board. When you're dropping Martes more points than the entire opposing team combined, you know you're doing some good things. So credit to him, 5 goals on 6 shots. He played tremendous, and that's the Black Army that I think a lot of players around the league, teams watching, are gonna see as a real threat to winning Season 8.
Yeah, they remind me a lot of KC last season, right? Whoever they put forward is going to put in a shift, and they're going to score lots of goals, and they're going to be very mechanical, and they're going to fit in quite well. And of course, we do see that here for Black Army in Game 2. Everybody left, so I was going to mention stuff about the scoreboard, but I won't be able to do that now, unfortunately. But we do have another sub coming in, this time for EC Defiance. It's going to be Nose Out Green Mario in, which of course, shout out to Green Mario as well. I got to meet him this past weekend in Portland at the Timber Sounders match. So all lovely people, but I'm hoping that maybe I can send them some good vibes going into Game 3 against Black Army.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly from their Week 1 series against Los Verdes, I think Green Mario actually played pretty well when he came into the team. So
I think that's right.
Hoping for that same sort of magic here in Game 3, a little bit of a momentum change. But yeah, if you're Black Army, you're just going to continue to play the way that you've been playing, and yeah, let's see if Green Mario can bring a little bit of a spark to this EC Defiance team.
So Green Mario in, Nose Out, and yeah, as Luis said, Green Mario I think made an instant impact. I can't remember if that play ended up resulting in a goal, but I just for some reason vividly remember Green Mario getting into the attack, maybe getting some bumps right as soon as he got onto the field. So we'll see if Green Mario can make that same impact that can lead to some good attacking from EC Defiance, which unfortunately was just not existent in Game 2. And of course, that is credit to Black Army. They were just winning every ball, taking every boost, winning every kickoff, and just not giving EC Defiance a chance.
Yeah, and as we do get underway here, Eric returning to the lineup, Martez staying with Vex. So we do have a little bit more of some lineup changes going on for Black Army. And yes, the before mentioned Green Mario back in the side for EC Defiance, and here we go.
And I'm going to mention the same thing that you did last week, Luis. We talked about it, actually. I can't remember if it was a different... well, I'm just going to hold that thought because we have a goal for EC Defiance. It's going to be Parks. I'm not sure what happened here in the corner. I think Eric thought that the Martez was going to come out and take it, and Parks didn't care. Parks had a really good, or really hard angle and ended up hitting it. 1-0, 6 seconds in for EC Defiance.
This is the start you wanted in Game 3 if you're Emerald City Defiance. This is perfect. So now it's going to be about defending, good 50s, taking your corner boost, stuff like that. And let's see if they can at least make this Game 3 competitive. And yeah, who knows if we can continue the series.
Oh, that's a really good save from Green Mario. He's not going to get credit for it, unfortunately, but we'll give him credit up here in the booth as Vex is going to get a flip off the ceiling. He's unbelievable, and Martez is going to continue his goal-scoring streak, and it's going to be a quick equalizer for Black Army.
Yeah, great playmaking ability from a very mechanical play in Vex there. Very hard to stop if you're any defense. And yeah, Martez, again, in the right spot at the right time. His shooting efficiency is going to be off the charts in the ball chasing stats after this series. And we almost had a repeat of the exact same goal with a very mechanical play out of Vex. Eric this time picking up the goal. I don't think Martez is going to get credited with the shot there, saving his percentage on a tactical whiff, as we say.
Yeah, if you're not sure if you're gonna score it, you might as well not shoot it, right? So yeah, the shooting percentage for Martez stays intact, but for Black Army, they do get the lead very quickly. Of course, they've now woken up in Game 3. Still lots of time for EC Defiance. 4 minutes left, but it's good. Now they're in the orange end. Parks unfortunately is gonna get demoed, but kept the attack going with one more touch as Green Mario doesn't get the touch that he wants, but nonetheless, this is better. Challenging in the midfield for EC Defiance, not letting, you know, these LAFC boys, just even if it's for 5-10 seconds, just the belief that they can do it. That's a great clear from Birdnana, right? It's all those sorts of things. Now can you string those things together into 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and then of course into your attacking half as well.
Yeah, small boost totals again at the back, and they got kind of away with it there. With a whiff out of one of the LAFC players. But yeah, way better so far, pushing up the pitch, not allowing them time to set up air dribbles. And so let's hope they can continue this for the next 3 minutes. And yeah, really take it to the LAFC team and make it a little bit awkward for them.
And very similar to last week as well, when Black Army faced Timbers Army as well. There was one game where, for each team, I guess in that series, that was an outlier, as we say, as Martez is going to get a save off the crossbar after a really good shot from Birdnana. I think it was 6-1 and 6-2, I think, were the finals in opposite directions, as Eric is going to get an assurance goal for Black Army. So maybe you take that game, too, as an outlier for EC Defiance. Whatever, 7-0, don't worry about it. Of course, this game is close here, just above halftime, but with Eric giving Black Army the assurance goal, hopefully EC Defiance can bounce back off this kickoff.
Yeah, that was a great demo play there, leading to the open net goal from Eric. Yeah, just total domination from Black Army. And now we're seeing some pre-jumps, some aerial plays, some little bit of freestyling going on. Always love to see that. But yeah, if you're Emerald City Defiance, I think you just keep playing the way you've been playing. This is already so far better than what we saw in Game 2. I think Green Mario's come in and been tremendous. Great pinch there off the sidewall for him. So yeah, just keep pushing the ball. If you concede some goals pushing up, that's totally fine. You need goals to win at this point, so might as well spend the house and see if you can yeah, get some offense going.
But once again, I think this is a lot better from EC Defiance week over week. I think if you take, maybe not Game 2, but definitely Game 1 and even part of this Game 3 performance, and you stick it, you know, in that last week's series against Los Verdes, you have a competitive series. You have EC Defiance taking games. You have as Birdman is going to get a bump. Unfortunately, Parks didn't have boost to get there, but it's good creativity once again from EC Defiance. Like we keep saying, they have the creativity, they have the prowess. They just, of course, credit to Black Army. They've just been really good tonight, but nonetheless, they look really, really good week over week.
Yeah, I echo what you say there. Oh, we do see an unfortunate whiff.
That commentator's curse.
It's always the commentator's curse. We've been known this. This is just how it goes. You always hate to see these sorts of whiffs, especially for a team like Black Army. They don't need any help, and so giving up goals like that really, really does suck. Yeah, 4-1 to Black Army. Let's see if Banana can step it up here, get a goal back for his team, and make up for just an unfortunate mistake.
And of course, the vibes do seem to be okay, as we see some quick chats going on with EC Defiance saying everything's all right, we're good. And I'm hoping that they see that they've improved week over week, and if it means that I got to go in their Discord and tell them that, I will, because they absolutely have. And of course, like we keep saying, like Black Army is in contention for, that's a great save from Birdman. Was flying around there, but they are in contention to win this whole league. I mean, I don't know when they play KC. I don't know when they play ECRC, but it's going to be an absolute banger of a match, those three. Of course, we already saw a banger of a match between them and Timber's Army. Black Army versus Timber's Army, as Vex is going to get on the scoreboard in game 3 and make it a 4-goal game. But those series between Black Army, ECRC, KC, even Timber's Army, just putting those 4 into the mix, those would be incredible.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this Black Army team stacks up against the top half of the table here in SGL. Obviously, they did have that Game 5 series against your team, which I think most people would say is one of the top teams in this league as well. And so, yeah, we're looking forward to seeing how these guys compete against those really top of the top teams, because they're tremendous. They're going to be in the running. I might even say right now, if I had to pick a team out of all the performances we've seen so far in this season, I think Black Army might be the favorites at the moment. Of course, subject to change given other teams' performances, but a great series from Black Army. This is the hallmark of a team that's going to be competing, and they take it in a 3-0 sweep.
And as we discussed, in the pregame, unfortunately, this was not a shock to us, at least us in the booth, unfortunately. But like we keep highlighting, EC Defiance playing way better than they did against Los Verdes last week. So if they just keep going on the trajectory that they are, they absolutely will be contending for game wins and even series wins. They might turn into one of these lower teams that are maybe a sleeper team, that are like, teams might walk in and just say, oh, it's EC Defiance, whatever, but then, maybe they sneak a game 1 win in there, or a game 2 win, and now you're like, well, wait a second, what's going on? I thought this was going to be an easy 3-0 sweep, and it's not. So we will look forward to seeing them progress over the course of the season. And of course, yeah, like we keep mentioning, just business as usual for Black Army, putting up a ton of goals there in the 3-game series. I guess maybe Martez becoming the MVP of this match, just from that game 2 performance alone, with 5 goals, 6 goals.
Yeah, and I do think we're going to have Saikugo come in for a post-game interview to speak on this tremendous Black Army performance. So if you want to hop in Pub 1, Saikugo, we can get you in here and get that interview going. But yeah, again, GG's to both teams. Black Army putting in an absolute show. Really helping me with my 26,000 Twitch chat points. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. But speaking of Saikugo, we have him here. Saikugo, welcome, and congratulations on a series sweep.
Yo, man, it's good to be back. It's been a couple of seasons. We haven't been in the league, but we're back. We're happy. We're ready to compete again. How we doing, boys?
Yeah, doing good, man. And again, you're one of the OGs of this league. You've been around for a long time. It's very, very, I'm very, very happy as well to have LAFC back in here and competing at the highest level. Just speak to me about kind of that break from SGL, being back. How are the team vibes? Yeah, just talk to me a little bit about all that.
I'm gonna be honest. We're very competitive. Our last season we competed in, we were first seed, and we ended up getting first rounded. it didn't sit right with us. We you know, as good friends do, we started bickering back and forth. Um, I'm gonna shout out Isidore here. He took it very serious. He started playing with some of our other friends. They just started grinding. A lot of them who are here today, they weren't they didn't have the talent that they're showcasing now. So kudos to my teammates. You know, I'm glad I have this team now. It's man, if you guys are in our discords, you guys will have a fucking blast. It's so fucking, it's so vibey in there. It's so jokes. Every single one of our my teammates here, they're amazing.
Yeah, one last thing for me, Rye Dog, and then you can hop in. Dude, watching y'all streams, the vibes are fucking awesome. The Discord is tremendous. I love the comms. Everybody is just super invested, wanting to win. Yeah, it was really fun to watch those streams from week 1 when you played Timber's Army. It was a great series, Game 5, which was awesome. So yeah, great to have you guys back. And yeah, Rye Dog, I'll let you take it from here.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, Saikugo, what a win. 3-0 sweep. It looks like, you know, maybe they scored first in that game 1 and things maybe looked a little bit nervy from you guys, but of course in that game 2 you guys exploded with 7 goals. I guess talk to me a little bit about the mentality over the course of the season. Of course of course the series, of course you've alluded to it just being super competitive and always wanting to win, but were there ever moments or maybe parts of games where you were nervous at all?
So I just want to give a shout out again to my team. Everyone, this is something we've lacked. I think this is my 4th season in the SGL, and this is the first team I have where everyone's locked in, everyone wants to win, everyone gets mad when things don't go our way. So quick shout out to all 4 of the other guys. This game, I mean, no, we go in every single game with the same mentality, how we want to win, what can we improve on. We are experimenting with a lot of different rosters. But you know, everyone's putting in the work, everyone's talented, and I mean, it's showcasing there, and we're just having fun at the end of the day.
And that's what's most important. You guys are having fun, and truthfully, from the commentators booth here, and even playing you guys last week, it definitely looked like you guys were having lots of fun there on the field. You just alluded to it, of course, about experimenting with different rosters. Is there a method to your madness there, or are you just saying, hey, let's throw these 3 out there and see how they gel, let's throw these 3 out here, see how they gel, or maybe is that proprietary information, or what's going on?
Yeah, I can't give you all the information there, but like I said, we're all having fun, we're all good friends. Like I said, this season, it's gonna be a really great season. Everyone wants to win. Everyone has, you know, we critique each other's performances and what else we can do and how we can play better and things like that. But we are working, we're practicing, and the 5 of us are ready to just go all out and try to finally win one.
Love to hear that. Well, that's, I think, it from me, but we want to give you the floor, Saikugo, so feel free to make any shout outs.
Man, shout out the chat, man. I have the stream up. I got some good friends in the chat. I got some other people that I recognize in the chat. Everyone's amazing. We love everything. Every single thing that people are saying, we love it all. Again, I'm gonna say it one more time, man. We're just here to have some fun. It's all good vibes on our side.
Perfect. Sounds good. Well, Saikugo, thank you so much for joining us here in the booth, and once again, congrats on your week 2 sweep.
Appreciate it, man. Hey, I can't wait to play you guys again. That was a good one.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely. Can't wait. All
right, appreciate you guys.
Yeah, have a good night,
man.
Good night, everybody.
I think just from that, the rest of the league should be scared. If they are practicing and having fun, even, you know, regardless of who they're playing last week, this week, it doesn't matter. If they are that pumped and that determined to win, I think I don't know really who I had as favorites going into this season, but I think it's Black Army right now.
Yeah, again, if you have a chance to go back and watch last week's game, you can look over the VODs, look over the comms, look over the vibes. They're vibing in there, man. Like they're all about it. The comms are great, vibes are tremendous. A really good group of guys they got there, playing for this Black Army team, playing for LAFC. So this again, I've been saying it all stream. This is a team that's going to challenge for the league. Not only do they have the tremendous mechanical players and plays that we've seen on the field, but they have the morale and they have that kind of chemistry off the field too. So looking forward to seeing them play. the best teams throughout the season. Those are going to be banging games. But yeah, I think if you're one of those top teams and you watch this team play, you're taking notice. That this team is, although they're new in terms of not playing last season, they're a team that's new, but they're not to be taken lightly. They're here to win the league. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how they progress as a team, and yeah, GG's. That was really fun to watch and really fun to commentate.
Yeah, Black Army is just that good. So SGL fans, players, if you're tuning into our stream and our chat, like I know some of you guys are, be ready. They are really really good. Do your homework, do your research, and honestly, that might not be enough. So yeah, they are a really good team. Well, that was game one of week two. I feel like, you know, we just had a full slate of games last week. They went super awesome. I feel like this week is or this season's already moving so fast. If we could briefly bring up the rest of the week two fixtures for you. So of course we did have EC Defiance get swept unfortunately by Black Army, but we do have plenty of more action there later this week. So we have, of course, we have Timbers Army there taking on locals, and then we have El Matador opening their season with Los Verdes. We have a KC Cauldron Rebellion match, which might be the game of the week in my opinion. So that'll be crazy. And then ECRC taking on Steel Army, and I think that means that EC Blue does have the week off. So yeah, I know we talked about it a little bit before in the pre-match show, Luis, but maybe let's run down the list here and give maybe our predictions for each of those matches. So let's start at the top. My team, Timbers Army versus Locals.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna go you guys in 5. I think these are two tremendous teams that are pretty similar in the way that they play. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go you guys in 5. I think Emerald City RC is gonna take their series against Steel Army in 4 games, and then I think you know, for the KC Cauldron Rebellion series, I think that'll actually go 5 as well, in the favor of KC Cauldron. So I think it's gonna be a little bit closer than maybe some people would think in that series. And then I'll predict my own series. I think we're going to sweep Los Verdes. We have me and Caesar and Kuv running again this season. So I think, yeah, I think we'll sweep that series. And yeah, those are my predictions for this week's games.
Did you predict ECRC and Steel Army?
I did. ECRC in 4. I think they're going to win 3-1 against Steel Army.
Okay. Yeah, those are good shouts. Maz, they're saying in the chat that TA local series is a tough call, but TA in 5. Let's see. Put your predictions in chat as well. We'll read them off as well. Maz saying LV goes to 5 against EM. There was a sweep or an upset last season, so we'll see what happens there. Regla says LV in 4. Dang. Okay. Debit just wants people to believe in him. I believe in you, Debit. Accounting gang for life, big man. And Steeler football and all that sort of stuff. But as you guys put your predictions in chat, I will say, yep, I'm gonna put some belief in myself. Timbers Army will take the series against Locals. I will say though, it is gonna be, and I'm gonna highlight 2 players. It's gonna be Mecky Ducky for Locals for sure. I mean, if he can repeat his last week performance, and I'm not just saying just like the goals and all that, just how well he played, we're gonna have issues. So really looking forward to that. Looking forward to playing in that and playing against Mecky Ducky, one of my favorite players to play against in this league for sure. Rolling down the list here, ECRC Steel Army. I believe in Debit. This will be a hot take, but I'm gonna give it to Steel Army just because I love you, Debit. So yeah, we'll go 3-2. We'll say they get it done in 5 there as well. Smashy's probably not happy with me, but that's fine. KC Cauldron Rebellion. Look, I think that has the potential to be a really, really good series. The Rebellion that we saw last week against ECRC was just not the Rebellion we saw in their cup run last year, where they finished 3rd. So if they can refine that form, the Rebellion, I think they have a really good shot of taking games off of KC. I think I'd still probably give it to KC, so I might say KC in 4 right now. contingent on the fact that if Rebellion can find that form, it might be KC in 5, maybe even Rebellion in 5, but we'll see about that. And then of course EM and LV going at it. I like Luis, so I'm going El Matador. You'll give him a game. You'll just give him a game just because why not? Because you're friends with Palace and all that. So it'll be my guess will be 3-1 there. So do we have any other predictions? Maz says if Raid is playing alongside Duckies, then locals have a decent shot. Yeah, because we didn't see Raid, and then we didn't see Dr. Aquatic, I think, if I remember correctly, last week for locals when they played Steel Army. So those can be definitely 2 game changers as well. Debit is saying we're gonna go from Town Hall to drinking to a 3-2 dub. Yeah, hey, you gotta believe somehow, man. Love it, love it. Oh, Dr. Quad did play last week. Okay. I'm just trying to get my facts straight here, but I think that is going to do it for us this evening. We've got, like I said,
I hate to interrupt real quick, just before we end, guys. I think we can throw up the updated league table. Maz, do we have that? We can throw that up there real quick before.
Oh, do we have an updated one? Lovely. Sorry, I didn't read that.
Oh, there. Oh, wow, there it is. Beautiful, nice. So that is the updated league table for everyone to see. Black Army, as things stand, are the top dogs in the league, although they do have that 75% games won, courtesy of that Game 5 win last week. And so, yeah, that's the updated league table. Unfortunately, Emerald City Defiance sitting there in last place with no games won. So we look forward to seeing them bounce back and get going in a positive direction. Anything else, Rydog? Anything from the table? Anything you want to end on?
I think we were kind of talking about this off stream last week, that the magic number might be 20, between 20 and 25 points. Of course, top 6 spots get into the playoff, and so I think 20 to 25 gets you there. And so of course we're still way too early. We don't know how things are actually going to play out, so that number may change, but at least that's a good ballpark of what you want to see. So of course we're still way too early. Of course, Black Army getting those 8 points to start out their first 2 weeks, so they are looking really, really strong. And yeah, of course, like we said, I'm looking forward to EC Defiance just building themselves up week over week. Like I said, I know they want it. They practice a ton. They're lovely people, and so I want to see them get some game wins and hopefully some series wins later in the season. But if that is everything from our end, I think we are good to close this out. So I want to say before I kick it to Luis one last time, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in for our match tonight. Hope everybody had a great long weekend, and stay tuned into the SGL Discord for match announcements. Like I said, I know Locals and Timbers Army will be playing on Thursday. I'm not sure if any other matches have been scheduled thus far, but definitely stay tuned into the announcements for that. And yeah, Luis, what you got?
Yeah, again, everybody, I really appreciate y'all being here. Everybody in chat, I think we peaked somewhere around the low 30s of viewership. Really appreciate everybody dropping by for the stream. GG's Black Army, GG's Emerald City Defiance, and yeah, we will see you guys later this week with some more SGL Season 8 action.